Okay, welcome back to X4 everyone, Future Perun here. I've just finished recording 2 episodes in sequence and I've decided in the end to split them up by theme. So today you'll be getting an episode with a little bit of story, introducing the terraform mechanics and a couple more elements like that, while the war-focused strategic fleet building component will be next episode, so expect lots of gameplay, a little bit of story this episode, potentially some PowerPoint, some fleet building and exploration of that large combat scenario and the ongoing war between the Terrans, Argon and Antigone next episode. Very much hope you enjoy. Let's jump into it. Alright, g'day everyone, and welcome back to X4, where we'll be doing some fleet planning and hunting for terraforming technologies. But you know, there are a few better ways to start an episode than allowing the Max to feast on Xenon capital ships. So we'll just travel drive into range and blap this K. I'm coming in from above, so we shouldn't have any issues. We'll outrange it anyway. We'll jump in. I think we're in range now. We are. Open fire. Long may the sun shine. Okay, we've teleported back to the Void for our mission. I think we just completed our Terran construction contract, so I'll grab another one of those during an off point in the mission. I just wanted to quickly check in on the good old Antigone Wharf again, and it looks it's down to 38% hull, and I'm going to bet if we live stream those destroyers, they are just continuing to rain fire with those main batteries. They also have a sim, which has 50% more main battery firepower than the Osaka's. So, relatively swift demolition job there. We'll keep an eye on it. If they do move over to the Antigone shipyard, I may jump over and disable the gun turrets and shield generators there as well. Although clearly so far, the Terran destroyers haven't needed the help. Some Antigone fighters have chosen to engage, but have met a relatively swift end owing to the defensive firepower of this destroyer squadron. Just don't mess with Terran capitals, I guess.
Oh, welcome.
Here's the freelance scientist.
Let us put you right to work, eh? Take note of the locational information I'm about to transmit to you. My other assistant, your colleague of sorts going forward, is currently testing a new alloy composition with magnetic shielding, which should protect her from the hazardous zone she is currently in. However, she seems to be having trouble with other onboard systems and has not yet been able to escape the caustic cloud. Apparently, the radiation messes with the navigation systems. Otherwise, she could have simply left at any point. Do not worry. Her supplies are quite sufficient to hold out for quite some time. If she complied with her task instructions, she should have left navigational beacons around the hazardous zones before conducting this experiment. Locate them and find out what frequencies she's monitoring in order to establish a contact.
Okay, so someone missing.
I can barely contain my excitement. We should hurry to save the research findings and the assistant from their unfortunate position.
So we need to find nav beacons that may have been left by this guy's previous assistant. Man, assistants don't have a very long lifespan in this world, do they? Because it is a search mission, I have the Sapporo nearby. So let's bring it in because it has a larger scan radius. And we'll go in and we'll find those navigation beacons. I don't think the experimental shuttle will fare particularly well in the Void's hazardous regions, just by virtue of the relatively limited shield, although I did upgrade them, just haven't modified them yet. Should probably modify them too at some point, given how often we use this little ship. But let's go find what we're looking for. And I've just diverted because I made a discovery. I was observing that it looks like, I believe, the Argon Wharf is pumping out a bunch of Antigone vessels. I believe that's what's happening, or at the very least there are a bunch of Antigone fighters flying away from Argon areas. There are Antigone ones being constructed. So just out of an abundance of caution, wasn't me. Should probably knock out the shipyard too, but like I want to leave them with something, if that makes sense. Alright, so now the Argon and Antigone collectively are down to just one shipyard. Let me know if you want me to disable that as well. But for the moment, we'll jump back over to the good old experimental shuttle and see what we can see. And rather than continually jumping over, constantly interrupting the episode, I will give occasional updates. But I might get into the habit of, at the end of every episode, maybe including just a brief war update on the progress of the reunification campaign. But this is a marker. The first 75% of Argon and Antigone shipbuilding was hacked and taken offline, And some of that is about to be destroyed with the loss of Antigone's Wharf. They can try and rebuild it, but those are expensive, they take a long time to construct, and in the meantime, this destroyer squadron is about to be free to move on to bigger and better things. I just don't think these harassing small Antigone ships are going to have what it takes in order to stop, you know, the likes of a Sin and 3 Osakas knocking this thing down. And I'm willing to bet that if there are losses, we'll start to see more trades coming through from Forge Complex Mars, trying to offset those losses. There we are, Wharf is down, and a brief emergency teleport. I saw Xenon, a whole squadron of Xenon ships has jumped in on the O'Neill all at once. I thought I was going to be engaging one capital, I'm actually engaging several. It's destroyed, I think, 2 Ks, there are several still engaging. We are inevitably going to take damage on the hull. The shields are about to be down, but I just need to get the main gun pointed in the right direction. The AI was able to do relatively well, but when it's jumped by a squadron coming out of travel drive, it just doesn't have the awareness. But I am not losing a capital ship today, I'm aware. Let's see if we can do... Take 2 in one burst. Bingo. Alright. The O'Neill's going to need repairs after this, but we are engaging. Fighters are not going to have what it takes to get through the shields. The shields should hopefully be regenerating. We've got 1 plasma damaged or destroyed. And then let's get this thing back to a shipyard for repairs. We'll be able to repair it at our own shipyard, so we won't have to pay the fortune that it would otherwise cost to augment the hull. But if we had not modified this thing, by the time I received the notification it was under attack. Basically what happens, I received the notification, I went to the map, saw it had blapped a capital ship, but another capital ship was still right on, 2 capital ships were right on top of it. I jumped in and tried to respond. That is the weakness of the Asgard. It's why I want to move over to battle fleets, because if I was not paying attention, if it was not modified, if I didn't respond quickly, if any of those things wasn't true, we would just be down an Asgard battleship. The O'Neill would be destroyed. But it isn't. And lesson learned. Alright, back to being a humble assistant again, as well as defending space against capital ship squadrons. Let's just fly straight through and see what we can find.
Danger. Hazardous
And I'll come back when I found our objective.
Deter meddling Terrans and other criminals.
Meddling Terrans and other criminals. We're definitely infiltrating the right organization here.
No harm should befall either your mechanical or your biological vessel. If you lack nav beacons, you'd better pick some up. We'll need them later to establish a link to your colleague.
Well, I've learnt what I need about this guy. So now I need to lay nav beacons of my own, apparently. It eats through the shields very, very, very quickly, but you know, it is what it is.
Resource probe. Unknown object.
Maybe some of these are nav beacons.
Equipment cost.
So apparently he's billing the Sagaris Pioneers for the cost of the defensive measures that I am about to have to destroy, because the nav beacons in question appear to be protected by laser towers. That's okay. We have EMAG guns, so we should be able to deal with those. There's one thing the experimental shuttle has, it's a lot of firepower for a small vessel.
Nav beacon.
And let's grab the data. Oh no,
Mines. Critical.
Mines are a problem. Mines are absolutely a problem. I'll have to repair that in a moment. That's a mine. There we are. Lots of mines. I want the data, but I also don't want to die to mines. If I can just get this sucker... Got it.
Thanks for your help.
Alright. Let's grab the data. I'll have to remember to repair the hull quickly. Repair laser should be sufficient. but I think I need to be in the seat to download the data. So let's just wait for that to happen. Quick scan of what's happening over in the Void and Antigone Memorial. Not sure where our Terran Destroyer Squadron has gone for the moment. The Argon shipyard is not under immediate attack. But we'll keep an eye on things. Terrans are putting up a second orbital defense station in the southern part of the Void, controlling the transit line between this jump gate. Oh, that's a great placement. That's a defense platform that's going to interdict the fastest route between the jump gate that heads to Antigone and the jump gate that heads into Argon territory. This is the logistical umbilical. This is the link between Antigone and Argon. The Terrans are trying to build a defensive platform along that route. That's not sure if the AI meant to do that, but that's actually really smart. If that's got the range, and it should have the range, especially with things like beam turrets, to interdict travel that's taking that route, I think that's going to hurt. Alright, we need to find more nav beacons. I'll just jump out and repair, and then find the next one. Okay, so it looks like the ship we're recovering is another Maria, that Yaki design that we encountered in the Yaki quest line. Looks like we're recovering another one of those, which instantly gets me suspicious.
Docking not possible.
Anything to do with the Pioneers where you find yourself recovering Yaki technology, there's an eyebrow that gets raised. But let's jump out and recover the thing.
Maria.
Sapporo should be fine just where we left it.
Hull damaged.
Wait.
Docking denied. Hull damaged.
Expedition AI Core Mark 7.
Docking denied. Hull damaged. Hull damaged.
Let's repair it. Since it seems to be complaining about its damaged hull, let's top it up to 100%. Yes, I'm aware. Are you an AI core? Are you a horrendously illegal AI core?
Docking granted.
Because you sound like a horrendously illegal AI core.
Welcome, pilot number 3.
Very good. It appears you two are ready for the next field test.
Affirmative.
Well.
Take note of the locational information I'm about to transmit to you. This ship, you see, was built for an archaeological expedition. It will survive the radiation inside the Taurus wreckage.
The Taurus wreckage?
The systems inside are built to interface with the old Terran hardware and software. The modified Mark 7 computational unit will be able to extract the terraforming data that our mutual researcher friend is yearning for. Be warned that the Terrans might not be too keen on us, rummaging through their forgotten
I would never
garbage
dream of telling them, my friend.
a forged ship ID, which will allow you two to reach the Taurus wreckage without questions being asked. If you can avoid patrols, that is. My business partner, you see, was very eager for,
Which is why he hired a Terran spy.
This Paranid has been preparing a Taurus wreckage exploration. The Terrans have always been technologically ahead of the other civilizations. There could be a wealth of interesting tech to salvage in this old chunk of a Terran station.
So, we're going to the wreckage of the Taurus Eterna, which is that megastructure that was being built around Earth before it was destroyed in that sabotage attack before the outbreak of official conflicts between Argon and Terra, I believe.
Test your colleague's shield in the hazardous zone? Oh, you will need it in the mission to come, so it will not be activated unless it becomes necessary. I suggest you get out before I'm forced to find yet another assistant for the job.
I'll repair it at my station, it's fine. I mean, I'm half a mind to just ram it into the nearest asteroid, considering it includes a legal AI core. But, you know, we are already getting our hands dirty, considering we sort of deliberately started a conflict in the last episode. So, I'll just carry on with the mission. We'll repair this AI core-equipped fighter, download the cover identity that we need in order to go into the Sol system. I presume we can't just tell the Secret Service, hey, we're incoming, don't worry about us.
Enter.
So apparently we just have to scan a signal source over here to get our cover identity downloaded to our very, very dodgy expedition ship. Scan mode.
Cover activated. Terran Protectorate.
Cover activate Terra Protector. Guys, okay. I have plus 30 relations with the Terrans, but okay.
Now you two should pass as Terran Agricultural Police, or whatever but do not get complacent. You will still need to avoid Terran military patrols.
We can do
The
that.
larger ships in particular are equipped to recognize odd signature readings at sensor range. Let us just say that not all of the modules who are equipped with are exactly legal in this space. But please, do reach the Taurus wreckage eventually.
Intercepting transmission.
Nothing to report. Must have been a fluke. Tell the quartermaster that our scanners need a complete overhaul.
I'm just going to go with speed rather than trying to dodge
Harry,
sensor bubbles.
there are Terran pests in this sector. Avoid getting within their scanner range altogether. Best case, they kick you out. Worst case, they start shooting.
Courier Vanguard.
Oh, that's funny. So because I have a Terran cover, Argon show as hostile.
Intercepting transmission.
Command, I'm getting odd readings here. Shouldn't Gate Patrol have reported Xenon presence?
Oh, so their
Negative.
thing...
No xenon insertion past the gate.
They're detecting
Might
xenon
be a
signatures.
hiccup in
I'm
that old
guessing those are
program.
AI detectors.
I'll
I'm
run
guessing they
sanity
literally
checks.
clued in to detecting AI signatures. And as a result, we are in danger of being detected if we hover for too long. Did you like the flyby Forge Complex Mars, by the way? It really does dwarf the other industrial complexes the Terrans have set up, but then again, I only have one of them, they have all of theirs. But I like to imagine it's making a serious contribution at
Accelerator
this point.
Venus.
Venus is next. We're obviously going to have to transition all the way through to Earth, because that's where the Taurus Eterna is.
Signature mask failing.
Yes,
Intercepting
straight through the
transmission.
destroyer guards.
Command, reporting signature readings in violation of Penal Code 2025 AGI Act. Must have slipped through in the noise at the gate.
Taurus Eternal Segment number 34.
Like I said, by the time they figure out what's going on, I mean, honestly, the Yaki ship design should probably clue someone in, so I'm keen to make this as quick as possible. Taurus Eterna segment number 34. Let's investigate. There we are, segment in sight.
Behold, this minuscule shard of Terran hubris. We will excavate your secrets and leave more acquainted with the technology of the terraformers.
The Terrans, being the
I
ones
do
who created the
wonder if
original
they're
Xenon,
still
are of course the
capable
kings of
their
terraforming tech.
ancient deeds.
So there you can see the ring structure. Originally this ring was going to extend all the
Destination
way around the
reached.
planet.
Analyzing Taurus wreckage. Mapping possible entries.
Alright, let's find ourselves a way in. Okay, we have
Oh,
found
yeah.
what I think will be a
Cover
functional
deactivated.
entrance, but it requires me to basically cooperate with the illegal AI spaceship by flying in with my spacesuit, triggering one of these switches, I imagine. There we go.
Awaiting pilot. Docking granted.
Your colleague seems impressively capable in some ways, but she does not seem to trust in her own piloting skills.
Docking granted.
It's an AI bozo.
Cover activated. Terran
If it could trust its own
Protectorate.
piloting skills, I will
Welcome,
be having
pilot number 3.
serious Xenon vibes. Ooh, cutscene. And the cutscene shows us being locked inside. Fantastic. But with an access tunnel opening up conveniently. So I'm
Do
guessing...
not worry about that door.
Oh, why
You
would I
will
worry
find
about my
another
escape
way
route?
out after collecting the data.
Awaiting breach. Docking not possible. Raya.
Alright, so I'm guessing this tunnel
Cover
is for me.
deactivated.
And... I'm guessing it'll lead me behind that door.
There seems to be an airlock in place. Well, that means another maintenance job for you.
Gotta love it when
There should be
billionaires
service
get their
tunnels
hands
taking
dirty.
to the other side of that door.
is there a switch? There is a switch. Kapow?
Manually overriding those doors is a tedious endeavor, but you're getting there.
Well, at least he can admit it. I'm going to assume if I do one more, it'll show me a way through.
Oh, you're in a hazardous area. Get out!
Awaiting pilot.
Okay, I'm presuming that allowed the ship to travel through.
Do not leave your colleague behind. You are both mission critical.
Well, thank you for admitting that you need me, not just the robot.
Get out!
Welcome to Taurus Eternal Segment number 34. Subsegment Storage. Requesting identification and wear transfer permit.
Cover activated. Terran Protectorate. Welcome, pilot number 3.
And we'll just sail through.
Weapons operational.
Very good. Alright, I'll push further into the Taurus. I'm being told I shouldn't be here.
Requesting identification.
And I'm guessing that this area is so old.
Something out here.
Oh, of course. Ignore that. I think the only will claim it. I'm guessing this segment is so old that my credentials will not be in the system, so I am going to be recognized as an intruder, even though, like, I am kind of on official business, albeit indirectly. Okay, here we are.
Requesting identification.
We're in some sort of hub, it looks like, in our totally not suspicious looking AI-powered Yaki fighter. I'm sorry, just for a stealth mission, the idea of using... I'm guessing it's because the Yaki were probably the one that integrated the AGI.
Suspending all ship traffic at main hub C5, segment number 34. Restricting maintenance capabilities. You are under arrest for trespass, as defined by the Terran Protection Act. Security has been notified. Detention imminent.
Security indisposed.
Yeah, security doesn't exist anymore, mate.
Requesting waiting time estimate.
Indefinitely.
Requesting hub obstruction time estimate.
Indefinitely.
Requesting segment number 34 main function.
Storage and distribution.
Requesting distribution efficiency estimate.
Task cannot be completed. Main function void. Rebooting.
Okay. Clearly these virtual intelligences were not exactly ruggedized against being told, hey, you can't do your job, you have no purpose. Oh yeah, that should hopefully buy us some time to continue moving in. Let me just figure out where we have to fly from here. Turns out all I have to do is a very basic switch puzzle to open the way forward. And we are back in the tunnels.
Weapons operational.
Presumably on the way to the core, or at least the data storage, I'm guessing. Wherever our objective is. Oh, welcome back, station.
Awaiting breach.
Attention intruders. You are under arrest for trespass, as defined by the Terran
I've heard that
Protection
before.
Act. You are advised to remain at your current location.
No.
Do not proceed. You have been warned.
Oh, that sounds ominous. Proceed with caution.
Oh, I was just being so friggin' la-di-da about the whole thing, mate. Caution? I guess I could show caution. I wasn't totally on edge already, like digging through an old megastructure, which clearly still has some active security systems.
Hostiles detected.
Hostiles detected, okay. Speaking of the security systems, I'm presuming some sort of automated defenses. The other thing that is slightly annoying is the AI doesn't trust me in the sense that it has capped the maximum speed I can fly while I'm inside the structure, and I can't activate boost.
Command rejected. Boost aborted.
I don't want a spaceship that is smart enough to tell me no. Alright, what's going on here? Alright, hostile turrets. We can deal with hostile turrets. This thing's got
protocols.
actually pretty good armament on this thing. Beam emitters, burst rays. Stay maneuvering.
I'll be able to open the next door until all turrets are taken down, huh?
Turret.
See if we can hook a shot around the corner here. There we go. Just like that Xenon Eye, only considerably less dangerous. Thank you very much.
Awaiting breach.
Continue exploration indeed. Maybe I can do this with the ship guns. Yep, I can. Don't even need to open both halves. Sail right through. Not even breaking a sweat. I know we're going with the Cutlass as our fleet fighter most likely, but the Maria does have additional firepower. No, it's not a symbolic though. I'm not sure I want to use Yaki ships.
With the Taurus's archives.
Maybe I will. We'll see. Maybe for special
Now
occasions.
you'll have to interact with the switches to release the file transfer.
Oh, wonderful! A switch puzzle.
Activate all switches to grant your colleague access.
This looks like one of those puzzles. So we had a few switches earlier. This looks like one of those switch puzzles where if you trigger one, it's going to cause the ones next to it to flip or something like that. Okay, I'm sure that's super compelling viewing. So let me work out the switch puzzle, and I'll be right back. All right, if I've got this right, flicking 8 should now do it.
Activated switch. 8 affected switches. 6, 7. All switches active.
8's a double,
Data
affects 6
transfer
and 7.
resumed. Docking granted.
Alright, that should be data access secured.
Cover activated. Terran Protectorate. Welcome, pilot number 3.
No worries, good to be back. Please give me piloting control.
Weapons operational.
Yeah, we may need those. I have no clue what's going to happen when the ominous progress bar of death goes all the way. That's a switch. Let's wait for the data first.
Data transfer completed.
Great.
Archives breached, initiating data corruption.
We have what we came for. Let us get out of here.
I would have presumed that you should delete the data before the breach is complete, considering you detected the breach in progress. Okay, looks like maximum speed limiters are removed. I don't have boost
Command
back.
rejected. Boost aborted.
Do I have travel drive? I have travel drive.
I was already wondering about possible malfunctions. Did the data transfer go through?
Good to know you're really worried about my health and
Requested
well-being, mate.
data has been allocated.
We are at the rendezvous point and ready for transfer.
No worries. Well,
Oh, splendid. Deliver the data to this location before any pests get to
any
you.
pests?
And that will conclude my part in our cooperation. Both of you have been quite adequate assistants. And I expect that both of you will work together to properly conclude our project. The best of luck, and farewell.
Yes, we wouldn't want any Terran pests to find out about any of this now, would we? Okay, so it looks like the Oberth is actually in...
Autopilot. Disengage.
Clearly they got permission to enter the Sol system itself. Or the Secret Service decided to conveniently approve that and not to look too closely. But I think what this means is if we dock, I don't think we'll trigger AGI sensors, so we should be able to, as long as this thing flies away, which I hope it will,
Cover
thank you for the
deactivated.
guidance.
Got you.
Rhea. Transferring data.
Yeah, okay, so the ship is moving. Great. So as long as we stay docked, we shouldn't trigger any security sensors on the way back. Thank you for the salute, mate. Let's go to the bridge and talk to Mr. Feynman.
Data transfer
G'day,
completed.
Rick. How you doing?
At last, we will be able to terraform. It will take a while to decrypt, examine, and integrate this latest treasure into our existing research on terraforming. It could take years, maybe even decades.
Years? Decades?
Bozo doesn't
Greetings,
do
Chief
years or
Scientist.
decades.
I am immensely sorry to intrude and interrupt, but please bear with me. I have a couple of algorithms to help approach a solution to your problem.
You have what?
The integration of the newly obtained data into your existing research on terraforming is complete.
You've done what? I can't believe it. It's all there. We have the results for our research. With this, we can immediately put Project Genesis into execution. Gaian prophecy will be terraformed. Thank you, Boron.
What does the freelancer get?
The same data. They are getting a copy. They're interested in xenon behavior and believe that understanding the original terraforming technology will help them understand the xenon better.
Well, hopefully the Secret Service is on that, because that's an interesting data breach. What about the station?
We'll leave it with the boron. That is the least we can do after he fast-tracked all of our terraforming research to completion. I don't know what our Secret Service was thinking, but it seems to me now that his classification as a criminal might have been an exaggeration.
Oh, well,
at the very least, he did seem eager to get this situation resolved.
We cross the line
any
occasionally.
Hostility.
And what will you do now?
With the new technology, we can make a proper attempt to terraform some of the planets and give our people a homeworld. You've played a big role in this, and for that, we are grateful.
What kind of terraforming?
We now have access to rather advanced terraforming project. That will be required to undo some of the terraforming damage inflicted by the xenon on Sagaris. I still can't believe that we are about to achieve what we first set out to do. At last, our people will have a homeworld.
Cool.
Again, great thanks to you for the part you played in this. Farewell,
no
friend.
worries, but I don't think our story is entirely over.
Assistant, I still have the terraforming data we worked so hard to obtain and assemble. We too now have the knowledge to implement new, exciting terraforming projects.
Also, Rick, are you at all suspicious of the fact that some of the crew on board your ship are wearing Terran uniform, not Pioneer gear?
More useful to us spacefaring folks out here. Nonetheless, it will certainly prove useful in our shaping of the gate network.
Now, I'm assuming that the Oberth is now going to fly back to Gaian Prophecy. It's telling us to take control of the geometric owl. I'm not sure I want to do that necessarily. I might just let us fly back towards Prophecy slowly. But where's the Earl King? Just in case we need to take some justice into our own hands. The Earl King is protecting Forge Complex Artemis. That's great. A noble endeavor. And that Hop Plunderer Behemoth E is clearly not a Holy Order of the Pontifex vessel. These are clearly scale plate vessels. Do I want to do... I might eliminate that quickly. Yeah, I might bust that... Oh wait, where is the Earl King? No, it's over there.
Entering the moon.
I think we're probably okay for the moment, so let's remove all orders for the Earl King. I want to reroute the Earl King to Sagaran Pioneer territory because I have a feeling that's probably where we're heading, and I'd like to rendezvous with our battleship for no particular reason. Now we're getting closer and closer to a major milestone as the Oberth flies towards Sagaris territory. We're sending 3 more ships on a contract to the Terran Navy, and once that happens, with the 50% markup, we should cross a 1 billion credit mark, liquid, for the first time. How are we going to use that? Well, there's a couple of things we need to do. We want to buy all the blueprints from the Argon and Antigone before Argon and Antigone don't have their stuff anymore, considering Antigone is already down a wharf, and I think the Terrans are doing work in the Void at the moment. Is that another? That's a Terran factory. Yeah, they are really setting up. Here we are. We've got patrol destroyers steadily demolishing this orbital... Oh, sorry, the forces around the Terran orbital defense station. So that defense station is about to go up. Antigone's not having a good time preventing it going up. So that station will be completed, and then interdiction on this transit line should be in a pretty good place. So, and it looks like there's damage being taken by that Antigone defense platform over there. I don't have sensor coverage, so I can't see what's shooting at it, but I'd be willing to bet it's probably the Terran Navy.
Transfer.
So we're going to hand over that fleet.
Great work.
Transfer. And there we are. 1 billion credits. 1.067 million credits in the account. I believe I also get a reward ship. I just don't know where it appears. It'll be called default. I assume it'll be called default Hokkaido, with no extra marker. That looks about right. And if I'm correct, there we are. Okay, wonderful. And it comes with... The reason I took this mission rather than a station building mission at that point was because this one came with 2 mods. An exceptional quality shield mod and a medium quality travel mod. What we'll do is we'll dock those at the Terran shipyard And then we're going to rip those mods off, because those can go on something more important, like a Asgard or a Carrier. Exceptional quality shield mod, perfect, absolutely perfect. If we put that on a Shark, a Boron Carrier, you will not believe the results we can get. So we can rip those mods off, no worries. We'll get a new mission from the Terrans in a moment. Loving the new credit figure, because I think that's getting close to what we'll need to buy the Argon blueprints in their entirety. The Argon who are, well, Argon, I'm calling Argon and Antigone together collectively Argon. We could call them like the Traitors, the Separatists, there are other terms we could use. They're about to lose another defense platform. But yeah, want to buy their stuff before it all goes. Anyway, we have made our way, the Oberth has made its way back into Sagara's territory, as you can probably tell by the view of our massive micro-lattice facility over there. A bee is captured in Family Jin. Sorry, there's a lot going on. Whoa, okay, we have some fighters that are... Let's go dock and wait at the that Terran defense platform. How about that? And this bee that we captured, that can go to our usual location, fly that out to near our Xenon collection, which we're putting at this Terran equipment dock until we can build our own station for our nice little Xenon museum. Anyway, we've made our way to Sagara's Pioneer territory, so I think the correct move at this point is we'll need to, in order to complete the mission, we'll need to get back on the geometric owl, which we'll do in a moment. But while the Oberth is here, I just want to see if we can administer our own form of, shall we say, law enforcement? Because I'm wondering, I brought the Earl King over because it carries all of our Marines. Can we board the Oberth with 57 veteran Marines? Boarding attack strength 1,669 against resistance 131. Very strong, very strong. Behavior is maintain distance, we won't shoot at it. So if we do a boarding operation like that, maybe we can capture the Oberth, because this is a unique ship, and I like to imagine a little bit of role-playing here. Sure, we've done the mission, we've got the technology, Bozo's making full use of it, the Sagara's Pioneers can certainly use it to terraform their worlds, no issue with that. The Terrans can intervene if they want to there. But if we can effect an arrest on the Oberth and just make sure that when they carry out their operations, they carry it out under the supervision of Terra Invicta, I figure that might be the way to go. Hello, Earl King. What you doing there, mate? So if we just issue those boarding instructions while we are on board the ship, I don't think the developers intended you to be able to board a ship that you are currently on, but I don't see a reason why we can't attempt it. We don't have any elite Marines, so 57 veterans will have to do.
Boarding teams preparing.
Okay, we should have boarding pods incoming. There they are.
Boarding pod.
This is what the boarding pods look like.
Stay information.
And I'm guessing since this is a mission ship, I can get away with doing this without triggering hostility. Often mission ships are coded like that, so a little bit of law enforcement. Here we go. Alright, looks like it's stage in progress now. Attacking Marines versus question mark. So we will teleport back over to the geometric owl.
Reinforcements arriving. Safe to engage.
Presumably this now allows me to do a certain mission.
We've secured several sections. Moving on.
Mission achieved. Establishing long-distance uplink to Kuril-Mankami.
I don't think we can avoid this.
Transferring Expedition AI Core Mark 7. Farewell, Pilot Number 3.
Okay, so the AI transmits off the vessel. Certainly a thread for our superiors to pull on, but not our responsibility right now.
They say it's safe to engage.
It is safe to engage. Alright, data transfer is complete.
We're pushing through. Lots of resistance.
Let's not go back inside the ship and have a look at what this looks like at the moment.
Safe to engage.
We've lost one veteran Marine so far.
Yes.
What we don't know is what the strength of the remaining forces is. So I'm going to sit on the pad. There we are, stage 3 complete. I'm going to undock. And I believe we should now be done.
Okinawa, research. Successfully docked.
Oops, I didn't mean to undock. We'll have to assign a captain.
Docking aborted. Docking granted.
So we have a nice new fighter, that's okay. We can manufacture more of these. I don't think it is, it's modified. Let's go say hi to Rick. Let's see if he's still there. Hey, he is. G'day, Rick. You work for me now, okay? Because as you can see, I am in control of the vessel. Pleasure working with you, boss. I bet he feels great about that time he went and sent me to, you know, fish out some illegal goods.
Morea.
Really ended well. That said, no reason not to allow them to continue with their terraforming operations, just now under closer supervision. Okay, so we'll just take control of the Oberth from our new captain. We will set the... Actually, you know what? I don't need to fly it myself. Someone else can fly it. That works perfectly fine. Let's take it up to our headquarters where we can park it as a advisory component to our ongoing terraforming project, because terraforming is about what is about to happen. The O'Neill, by the way, is going into action in the split sectors again. I'm piping in these Cutlass fighters. They're on an intercept command, so they will be piloting these little beauties in to provide some temporary support while we work on something a little bit more comprehensive next episode. The next episode will be very much about fleet building and fleet design, and I promise a PPT will go along with that to explain what we're going to do before we go ahead and do it. But for now, let's open the terraforming menu. Here we are. This is the planet of Shirkaze. Now that we have all sorts of projects. Okay. And we have access to Terraformer Tech. Okay, so this is the terraforming menu. When you arrive, bring your HQ around a planet that you can terraform, you get access to this menu. These are all sorts of projects, each of which changes the status of the planet. You can see we're measuring oxygenation, oxygen levels, toxicity, how much housing there is, other factors like methane, radioactivity, seismic activity, carbon dioxide, etc. And by working on these various projects, you improve the planet or give yourself access to all sorts of things as well. For example, if we set up an aerial maze, which we need to remove toxicity and housing in order to do, we can then use the planet to set up training facilities to mass produce qualified personnel. Formalized regime of aerial exercise, the results are consistent but ultimately limited. So a 20-minute project that costs engine parts, hull parts and medical supplies, but which pumps out large groups of qualified pilots. And similarly, there's a martial arts school which can eventually produce either individual very highly talented operators or large batches of mid-talent operators. This, I believe, is how you get mass access, rather than just grinding, mass access to reasonably competent personnel. You need to use a planet. Economy projects, amenity projects, housing projects, like the Archaeology. It looks like the planet really wants the toxicity removed first. There's industry. I don't see what would be required in order for us to press a button to start. Oh, mission to terraform the planet was not yet accepted. So let's formally accept it. I've talked about why we might want to do this. Shirkaze, even though it says the result will strengthen Antigone if we complete the project, we're not going to complete the project. We're going to start it, and then we'll pick the appropriate time to finish it if we ever do. Or we'll relocate and help the Boron instead, because the other one I'm really interested in is this one, Rising from the Ashes, which is a lush boron planet, which gives us a unique blueprint if we complete it. But let's start with low-hanging fruit, Shirkaze. Okay, so the first objective it says is to eliminate toxicity.
The Antigone Senate has announced this morning that an effort to terraform a world near our borders has begun. An unaffiliated third party is reported to be carrying out the process. which has been met with some controversy and debate. The world to be made habitable is Shiokaze, a blue planet in the Getsu Fune system. It is home to several highly toxic kinds of berries that actually make the air poisonous to humans, which has so far prevented any large-scale settlement. We will
we can
update
deal with
you
that.
as the story develops.
One hit like that isn't gonna stop me.
Looks like there's some sort of engagement going on in the distance, but we're not worried about that at the moment. So here we are. Now all the projects are unlocked. In order to complete the mission, we need to remove toxicity, build wheat fields, housing, vineyards, and fine dining. So my belief is as long as we don't build one of these things, for example, as long as we don't build fine dining facilities on the planet, we can keep scaling it. We can take it further if it serves our interest to do so, and there are ways that it might. The first thing I think we want to do, though, is I'm looking at these things, as expensive as they are.
I'll get you for that. What? Coming right up.
The von Neumann constructors.
Oh.
And I believe there are a number of other
Entering system.
advanced projects that are only unlocked because we got access to the technology from the Taurus Eterna. Not all of them would be applicable on all planets, but this is the one I want to start with, I think. What this does is it's incredibly expensive. It uses Terran goods, so computronic substrate, metallic microlattice, and silicon carbide. 7,800, 54,000, and 1.5 million metallic microlattice. But in exchange, it gives you a 20% discount off high-tech goods and ship technology on the planet. But more importantly, I haven't done the math to figure out if that works out. It may not, although I have ambitions on this planet. I think it'd just be really good to show off some high technology in action. Like, it's really good PR for our company to roll in with our teleporting station and then deploy some absolutely cutting-edge technology in order to get the planet up to speed. We're slowly expanding the headquarters. It's going to be a long go, but hey, we have our own builder in place doing it now. These small, medium ship fabrication bays will produce terraforming drones, and the terraforming drones essentially act as one-way delivery systems to the planet. But they're made out of, like everything else Terran, I believe they're made out of silicon carbide, computronic substrate, and metallic microlattice. So the Terran economy coming in clutch. Although we'll see that that'll be confirmed a little bit later on. But I believe that we're using Terran construction method, and so we should be using universal goods. I'm doubling up production here, but a lot of it's going to come in from our other stations. Eventually I want to remove this ugly section up here, it was very temporary, and move over to something a little bit more orderly, as I'm slowly setting up a grid here. But here we are. The terraforming is commencing.
I have ordered construction of the required devices.
Thank you, Bozo. One of the things we need as we go into terraforming is obviously as many resources as possible, and we're starting to have a bit of a Kark problem in this sector of Hatikva's Faith that I've claimed, off to the network west of the Argon sectors. And whenever you find Kark, we haven't talked about their facilities in great detail. There are big Kark facilities and small Kark facilities. We've destroyed a big one in the past. But if you're seeing serious attacks in the sector, somewhere, usually way off to the side, you'll have an installation that you can destroy. It'll eventually respawn, but you'll give yourself like a day, like a full 24 game hours of respite. So we've got the max in situ, and it should be able to smack out that Kark installation. We might jump over and make that happen. Should be easier to do than otherwise. The large miners have generally been able to protect themselves from the Kark attacks. We're also having trouble with in Xenon. I'm noticing the Xenon, I'm not sure whether it's adaptation or whatever the situation is, but they're certainly bringing more fighter escorts with their capitals, and I'm finding the lone Asgards, especially when they're only operating with small fighter escorts, are having significant difficulty dealing with them. Now, yes, the O'Neill doesn't have a gunship docked, which we need to do, and it doesn't have its turrets modded the way the Max does. That's a key reason that it's not performing as well. But I'm bringing the King up as a temporary measure. It should deal with Xenon fighters better while being okay against their capital ships. Not as dominant as the Asgard, but still something. But what we really need is to move over to fleets, which we will be doing next episode. But we can start a... Oh, we are already under attack.
I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
That's okay, mate. I know what you're doing. It's okay. Just bring down that Kark so I can re-engage my travel drive like a boss. Okay, thank you. Let me kick the engines. There we go. All Alright, travel drive is engaging. What we can do at the very least, plan build, build ships, extra large. We'll get this thing just out of the shipyard. We're not going to be able to equip it ourselves. We'll send it to the boron yards, but at least we can produce the damn thing in our yards. This is symbolically going to be the first boron capital vessel that we have produced, a symbol of the alliance between the Terrans and the borons that we're working towards, and the fact that Terra Invicta has closely worked with both of those. And of course, this will be the active Terran corporate ship Emu, which will be the naming scheme for all of our super heavy carriers. The ATCS Emu, that says it'll take an hour and 17 to produce, only because I assume we don't have any build drones available. Yeah, we don't have any building drones, so let's do 80 build drones. That'll instantly sap our energy cells, microlattice and silicon carbide, but those will slowly recover. And now, yeah, now it's producing in 18 minutes instead. I'd love to jump over and have a look at the shark while it's constructing, but we've got a Kark facility to smack first. Alright, here we are, 11 kilometers from the Kark installation. As you can see, a much more restrained affair than the big one we previously engaged. Plasmas are in range, main cannon firing. Let's let that section explode. Fighters are engaging, if that doesn't worry me too much. Fighters definitely jumping in. We have pissed them off a tad. That is okay, that is what we are here to do. Okay, it is at 66% HP. 62. There is always the question of whether those plasma turrets should be replaced with additional beam turrets, but it's just hard to know for sure. Do you want more fighter firepower, or do you want even more anti-capital firepower? Oops, accidentally overheated the gun there, but we are at 50% hull. And you can see what a difference having that gunship on deck makes to the overall defensive firepower of the thing. Let's rearm the turrets. Beautiful, Kark exploding everywhere. We'll draw in the loot, because I have an infinite demand for loot that I can use to customize my capital ships. And of course the experimental shuttle, we'd like to customize that as well. Main gun should be coming back online relatively soon. People have asked why I don't use these secondary guns. I could in an emergency, but I believe the cooling capacity of your ship is spread across all of your guns. So if we overheat the main batteries, they're using some of that cooling allowance and slowing down the cooling of the main cannon. So, and I haven't modded them. So in terms of heat efficiency, I think just firing the main cannon is probably the way to go. 21%. I think once we destroy this section, the station goes. 13%. And that should stop the Kark spawning in this sector, because they're getting in the way of our bloody mining operations out of Heretic's End. This is where some of our Heretic's End miners come to get their stuff. 5, 2...
Protector.
0. Very good. So once the last of these fighters are destroyed, I'm pretty sure that's all she wrote for the Kark in this sector for at least a 24-hour period. And supporting all this will be a major expansion of our boron station, which is critically moving into claytronics production. At the moment, we only produce these things through a slow scrapping method in Getsu Fune and in the Quetanort sector, where we have 6 active production modules. This will double that, adding 5 additional production modules up in the boron station, so it'll produce hull parts and claytronics. Hopefully the workforce should be sufficient to the... No, it needs 14,000 workers now, so... we're producing excess medical supplies and bofu. So one thing we might want to do is add to the number of oases that we have in order to expand the number of boron living on our station. And I think that's exactly what we'll do. We can probably accommodate an extra few thousand without going over our current production allowances. Let's go habitation modules. And for the moment, let's just add a little bit of a mimic arrangement at the start of symmetry. We'll go from 9,000 to 12,000 workers, and then we'll see if we need more bofu and plankton in order to accommodate. Because we're losing efficiency as we add more production modules, that is okay for the moment, but yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. But even though this is expensive, we have so much money now, although I'm about to go dump a lot of it into Argon blueprints. Oh, look at that, they're losing, Antigone's losing their other trading station down in Frontier Edge. Sucks to be them. And the Argon have moved a Tokyo into the void. They are controlling this jump gate here, which means, like I said, between this defense station and this fleet here, they're basically in the process of chopping Antigone and Argon in two. Taking the void will basically cut Argon off from Antigone, without really long diversions. So if Terra secures this, the ability of Argon and Antigone to sort of coordinate is going to be pretty severely undermined, and I wouldn't bet on Argon being able to, for example, complete this defense platform. I have a feeling this is so far going Terra's way. They've knocked out 25% of opposing shipbuilding capacity, and they've chopped the logistics line. Be interested to see where the AI goes from here. We also have some funny indiscriminate incidents like this. An intervention corps Asgard is out smacking Xenon to hold Hatikva, but occasionally I'll watch Argon ships be like, oh, there's a Terran Asgard engaging some Xenon ships over there. Maybe we should go and try to kill it. And it never goes well. It absolutely ever goes well.
Mind the gap.
I'm back on a station.
I am proud to announce that we
Hey,
are
it's
making
Feynman.
great progress in our terraforming endeavors. You will find that our planet, Terra Nova, in the Sagaris system, is now a much more livable place once again. Again, great thanks to you for the part you played in this. Farewell, friend.
He apparently doesn't hold a grudge for the fact that my Marines are on board his ship, supervising his operations, and I actually have his Okinawa being used to shuttle goods. In fact, I was about to have it start shuttling goods to and from our various stations in order to support our terraforming efforts. We're also about to do another fleet delivery mission. We'll send the Osaka to follow, like that. This delivery contract is for a Tokyo, which we need to deliver into, again, Xenon territory. You'll notice that the Terrans have a foothold and are setting up factories in Taladi space, facing the Xenon now. Our influence must grow ever larger and ever wider. So we'll send that Tokyo on the way. That'll give us a massive payoff. In fact, we can have a quick look at the Tokyo. Probably even more interesting if instead of being on the bridge of the carrier, you can see here's the Folks docked on the top of it, and I believe the cookery should be in the forward flight section. Here we are. This is the main hangar of the carrier. 40 fighters, I think, can dock, or something like that. Very large number of fighters can dock. These are the ready areas. So you can fill all these pads, and then it's a relatively quick launch, straight up and out. Different carriers have different traits. The Terran carrier is pretty good at launching all of its fighters rapidly. That's one of its relative advantages. So we'll let that fly to its destination. That'll be money. But let's go spend a bunch of cash and buy up these blueprints, optimize our terraforming, and then I think we're getting pretty close to the end, probably. And here's our message from Feynman. Dear friend, our planet Terra Nova was rendered uninhabitable by the Xenon during the First Terraformer War. Although they did not destroy our cities, the Xenon destroyed the planet's ecosystem. The monumental effort that was Project Genesis has finally paid off. We, the pioneers, were able to remodel the atmosphere and successfully begin the process of re-inhabiting the planet. It was an honor to be appointed to lead this project, and I extend my gratitude not only to my immediate team and the pioneers, but also to people like you who played a major part in its success. Thank you. I like to imagine some of my Marines are like over his shoulder watching him as he writes that message, but you know, it's the thought that counts. Hey mate, I have nothing to do with the fact that you're getting your shit kicked in at the moment. Please sell me the blueprints to all your ships before you go extinct. We'll grab the Colossus E. We'll grab the... What's the Nomad? The Nomad's their auxiliary ship. We won't actually use these vessels. It's a huge waste of money. But at the very least, I want to grab the Colossus E, the Behemoth E, your mining ships, the Sentinel. Do I really want all these? Look, just for posterity, I'm going to grab some of them for the moment. I can buy more later. The other thing that'll come with a price tag is gearing up warships like this one. I like Yark turrets, so that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with Mark II shield generators for the turrets, but making sure that we maximize the defense here. We'll talk through the ship design next episode and why the Shark, other than just symbolism, is having a place in the fleet. But the synopsis is that the thing that the Shark has going for it over all other carriers in the game is tank. It has so much tank. Insane amounts of tank. What do we want? We're going to want some cargo drones. Not going to... Defense drones, no. The fighters will handle that. So 15 repair drones, 5 cargo drones. Grab some laser towers. Case they're relevant. Countermeasures, that's probably all they need. We won't put a boron crew on it, we'll put a Terran crew on it. So let's just get it re-equipped for the moment. I think that's all it needs, 23 million credits worth of upgrades, with most of that being the thrusters and the extra large shield generators. And that's pretty cheap for us. So if we can build the hull ourselves and then send the boron to refit it while we get the components done, that's still a huge saving over buying it ourselves. So we'll add that to the shopping list, confirm the order, and then we can strip the mods off that Hokkaido that we were given before, and that should give the shields on board the Emu a bit of a boost. Building is going well here. When I'm ready, the second one, the Kiwi, the sister ship of the Emu, will be launched as well, and that way each Asgard can have a fleet carrier accompanying it, and we'll need the fighters to go along with it. But I can feel we're starting to stray into the next episode, which is fleet building. This one, we got the technology to terraform. We started the terraforming process. We apprehended Dr. Feynman, the incredible Dr. Feynman. I set up our logical buy orders for all of the materials we're going to need for terraforming. It'll take a while to pull them together, but I am pulling them together. You can see even the Oberth is doing its part to bring in substrate, lattice, and carbide. Once we get von Neumann constructors, that'll give us a discount. We'll get some other discount projects. We'll get some housing set up on the planet. And we'll also be able to make some serious money here, I think, by selling consumer goods and whatnot to the planet. But that's something for a future episode. For the moment, hope you enjoy. It's been a much more constructive episode than last one, where we just set everything on fire. I think the Argon are proceeding pretty well. The Terrans are proceeding pretty well with their efforts. Argon have occasionally been able to get new defensive stations set up, but I think they'll be torn down in short order, and the Terrans have managed to set up their own sort of lock on this logistics sector here, and you can already see that that carrier group is doing a great job interdicting the region. If they can clear out these defense platforms and eventually flip administration in this sector, that'll be a big change. And then the question is, what happens to this shipyard over here, and will it eventually fall the same way the wharf before it? Hope you're enjoying. I'll see you again soon.